Richard's problem, though, is not that he is too cynical or too Machiavellian. It really seems to be that in many respects, Richard is too sincere. Indeed, this is a highly intelligent king, very poetic and very verbal, and his kind of flair, his kind of verbal flair, is juxtaposed to Bolingbroke's throughout. Bolingbroke or King Henry is more of a Gary Cooper, strong, silent type, and you'll see that in the BBC clip where you have the a very young Derek Jacobi playing Richard II. Next to a very stalwart, stoic Bolingbroke or Henry IV. Richard II's issue seems to be that he truly believes he has God's will. That is, he truly believes he is on the throne by God's will, and he's got a special relationship with God. And in that sense, who amongst us doesn't? Who amongst us doesn't think we have some special access or special privilege that separates us out? Richard's problem, though, is that he takes this very seriously. When he comes back from Ireland in Act 3, Scene 2, and Bolingbroke has already launched an attack and and is moving towards usurpation of the throne, Richard is caught off guard, but he's comforted by Carlyle. This is Act 3, Scene 2, lines 25. He says, "Fear not, my lord, that power that made you king hath power to keep you king in spite of all. The means that heaven's yield must be embraced and not neglected, else heaven would, and we will not. Heaven's offer we refuse, the proffered means of succor and redress." And Carlyle's doing two things there. Once he's confirming to Richard that you are on the throne by God's right, you'll be okay. But by the way, you have to act to sort of protect yourself. Nonetheless, Richard is rather poetically inspired by this message of divine kingship. He says, lines 54, Act 3, Scene 2, lines 54. "Not all the water in the rough rude sea can wash the balm off from an anointed king. The breath of worldly men cannot depose the deputy elected by the Lord. For every man that Bolingbroke hath pressed to lift a shrewd steel against our golden crown, God for his Richard hath in heavenly pay a glorious angel. Then if angels fight, weak men must fall, for heaven still guards the right." And of course, Shakespeare then has his wicked sense of dramatic humor and dramatic irony onto the stage. At exactly that moment comes Salisbury to announce that 20,000 men have been lost, and this utterly drains the blood out of Richard's face. And he's bumped up again. "I had forgot myself. I'm not a king. Awake, thou cowardly magistrate." But the situation, the ground beneath his feet, to quote Salman Rushdie, is shifting, and Richard is having to confront the fact that divine kingship does not mean that he himself embodies divine power. And that, I think, has been his confusion. The fact that he may be on the throne by divine right or by divine inspiration does not mean that he has a eternal grant to power on earth. And this at least seems to be Shakespeare's way of explaining that reality happens, but at the same time, we don't need to jettison the political theory that organizes our current government.